thing to keep in mind, we're visiting New Orleans right at the end of September, and we're here visiting for a couple days. First stop is at the Indian House Hostel, where we will be staying.
Yeah, so Indian House Hostel has been here for 30 years, and the owner came here as a backpacker from Namibia. And the reason that the hostel is so amazing is because he knows exactly the right atmosphere to cultivate here with all the backpackers, and he's done a really good job at figuring out lots of the subtleties of having a hostel, having really good communal spaces for everyone to meet each other. And honestly, that's the thing that makes this hostel so amazing, is that he over the years has done such a good job at all those little things, having breakfast in the morning, and having the pool, of course, is an amazing thing to have. And the hostel has grown and developed into something where people can come and meet and hang out and make friends. I think that's the most important thing about hostels that some miss, is their ability to make friends with people. And everyone comes here and makes such good friends with people, and it makes the atmosphere amazing. And come and meet some of the best people you've ever met in your life here all the time. Future guests can expect to come here and make some of the best friends they've ever made in their life just by hanging out, and also getting to do that in New Orleans, which is one of the greatest cities in the United States, and hang out here and get to know one another, and then go out into town and see amazing jazz music and art and all of this stuff. And when people come and stay here for a few days, then you really get such a good bond with other guests here.
Alright, so we're here at, was it Morning Call? Known for their beignets and I guess coffee, but their beignets where it's at. Never had a beignet before, but here, let's give it a try. Very, very sugary. I guess it's sugary dough, right? Yeah, these beignets are literally buried in powdered sugar. Oh my god. Oh my god, too much sugar ended up giving me a stomach ache. So we were just inspired by the trees and the overall atmosphere of City Park, so we decided to throw the car in park and kind of wander around. These trees are just amazing, something you really have to see in person, and the way that the moss grows on them is just makes them fuzzy. So now, City Park is a pretty happening park. As we saw, they offer train rides, and I believe they also have like a amusement park as well. Yeah, definitely check it out. From what I read online, these oak trees are at least 300 years old. We find the inspirational tree to take some photos in front of. Now you know you can't go anywhere with me without doing a photo shoot, so who brought the goods? Our first attempt of getting in the St. Louis Cemetery #1 was a fail because the diocese have very strict laws about getting in. You need a tour guide. So later on in the episode, I find a tour guide and I get in there, so stay tuned. Now there is a fee of $20, so keep that in mind. So this is one of the only above ground cemeteries that you actually have to pay admission fees. So as we leave, I kind of pop the camera over the wall and, blindly see what's inside. Now that was the Museum of Death. It was a little on the small side, and they do not allow photography or video of any kind. It was like almost $17 to get in for, I'd say maybe 5 rooms. It had a lot of serial killer stuff. They had a lot of articulated bones, in fun positions and stuff. One getting eaten by that alligator.
Get the baby!
Creeping around downtown New Orleans, right around the French Quarter. Yeah, they offer all kinds of tours down here, I guess. As we can see, one of them is by Segways here. Our next stop is the Voodoo Museum. There's about a $5 admission fee. And this place is literally 2 rooms and a hallway. But there is seriously so much to see. It felt like every inch of wall space was plastered with photos of voodoo legends with explanation cards next to them. You could really feel some serious vibes, as well as the rich heritage of all the voodoo here. This place is packed with mini shrines where people leave all kinds of things. Money to cigarettes, containers of alcohol, as well as photos of loved ones. Every shrine has its own purpose and meaning. This is one of those places where you can walk through it 5 times and always see something new on each pass through. From what I read, voodoo was brought to the French Louisiana during the colonial period by enslaved Africans from West Africa. This period was generally between 1719 to 1731. They also brought their cultural practices, languages, and religious beliefs rooted in spirit and ancestor worship. Many agree that the New Orleans resident Marie Laveau was the voodoo queen. It's said that many politicians, lawyers, businessmen, wealthy planners, and many more, they all came to her for consulting before they made any important financial or business decisions. Aside from being a voodoo queen, she was also a hairstylist, and while doing hair, she would collect as much gossip as she possibly can. This would allow her insight into the workings of the local community. This is a very inspirational place because the shrines are littered with actual human bones as well as very well hand-carved sculptures. There's truly an incredible amount of symbolism in this place, and you could literally spend hours reading up on what everything means and who everyone is. I highly recommend this museum. Next stop is Bloody Mary's Haunted Museum. Oh, this place is like an occult playground right here. When you first walk in, there's the gift shop where you could buy all kinds of stuff from voodoo dolls to crystals to all kinds of occult stuff and even like taxidermized bats and all things of that nature. But they also offer like a haunted tour. They also have like a haunted items museum where all the items in the museum haunted, and Bloody Mary herself also does all kinds of psychic readings and tarot card readings as well. So I decided to take a tour and see what else they have to offer.
The hallway here is in honor of some of the important spirits of New Orleans. We have some nature spirits in this first area, swamp spirits on this wall. Of course, our city is a swamp, so those spirits are important to us. And river spirits in the area around the sink. Obviously, the Mississippi River is very important to our city as well, so we honor those spirits. And we do have some important human spirits in this part of the hall who we honor. We have a spot for Marie Laveau, the most famous voodoo practitioner, voodoo queen from our city. She lived here in the 1800s and is basically a local saint. So of course she gets a spot of honor. Next to her, we have Jean Lafitte. And Jean Lafitte was a well-known pirate. He was not from our city, but he spent a lot of time here and he helped us to win the Battle of New Orleans. So he's a little bit of a local hero. Going on to this part, we got
So in this doll room, several crews of construction workers have all seen children run into that crawl space here. So the property owners have dedicated this room to including all kinds of dolls and toys for the child apparitions. This apartment in general has a pretty spooky history overall. Our tour guide was saying that this is where Zach Bowen and Addie Hall lived. From what I hear, the couple may have been into drugs and alcohol. They lived in this apartment and did not evacuate during Hurricane Katrina. Soon after, Zach caught wind that his girlfriend was cheating on him, and he did not like this. So Zach strangled Addie in the bathtub and then cut her up into pieces. Her head was placed in a pot cooking on the stove. Another pot cooking contained her feet and hands, and in the oven cooking were her legs. And can't forget the torso was in the fridge. Zach then committed suicide by jumping off a very tall building. He also had a suicide note in his pocket, which led the police back to the apartment to find the gruesome scene.
We do have a fair amount of the owner's collection of haunted objects. And the owner here is Bloody Mary. She is a local tour guide and voodoo priestess. She's a psychic and medium and many other things. It's our human skull on the upper shelf there in the middle. And her name is Henriette. Certainly we did have reason to believe that she was haunted when we found her. That was in an antique store in Paris, which was sort of unexpected for Bloody Mary to find any human remains there. She was just kind of browsing, and she heard someone say they've always wanted to go to America. And when she turned to see who had said that, she did not see a living person. She saw the skull there. So she decided to help that dream come true and get Henriette to America with us, take them in. But on the top two shelves here, we have sort of lucked into having some objects that belong to Marie Laveau herself. So we are obviously very honored to have some things here of hers. And we do use some of them in our own rituals now. But the thing we likely use the most is Marie Laveau's dagger to the right here.
And how do you think items become enchanted or haunted?
Well, it depends, of course. Our personal thought here, at least Bloody Mary, which since she raised me, has similar opinions, is basically that any object here or any location, if it means a lot to someone in their life, is probably something that they will be attached to and want to return to in the afterlife. So that's kind of a simple answer for why our city has so many haunted bars and restaurants as well. They just want to go back to the favorite places that they loved in life. And if you had something that meant a lot to you, yeah, you might go back to that as well.
Next up, we go get dinner. Oh my god, we find this hilarious service so we get him over at the table for an interview.
Oh, am I doing an interview now? In a world where white people tell surfers how to do their jobs, one man will make a difference. One man will yell non-stop at the white women who come at him with nonsense requests, such as, "Can I have a split jack? Can I get it on the side?" These are the common complaints of the white woman, but one man stands above the rest. His name was Bob, and he was tired.
Hey, shut that noise up, you asshole!
Some people don't agree with his methods. White women beware. No, I can't.
Next we go scouring the streets for a daiquiri bar because it's still hot and humid at night.
Chicken Shack and Daiquiri Shop. We have 7 locations in the French Quarter, 3 on Bourbon, 2 on Canal, and 2 in Decatur. Or is that my math wrong? Yeah, that's right, Matt. We serve 9 different daiquiri flavors, and we have 1 virgin flavor, that's strawberry. Our cup sizes are 20 ounces, 32 ounces, or 24 ounces. You can mix and match your daiquiri flavors. We have fried chicken, fried seafood. I'm vegan, so I cook the food, but I really love our jambalaya. We have really good tenders. If you get a brain freeze, I always tell my customers to get their thumb put it to the roof of their mouth. But if their hands are dirty or they like done nasty stuff, use their tongue.
I like the whole shit. Sing us some more shit. You type for whole shit.
Alright, so I make it back to St. Louis Cemetery number 1 to meet up with a tour guide and to join the group. So everything I'm about to say is based from what the tour guide was telling us on the tour. The voodoo queen herself, Marie Laveau. This is her tomb. This is currently her tomb. She's iconic. She's a legend. Back in the day, I guess some publication was saying it's good luck to draw 3 X's, to turn around 3 times, and like to leave 3 things at her tomb as well. But the diocese got pretty upset with that. This is one of Marie Laveau's daughter's tombs. As you can see, all the X's on it, and it is a bit in disrepair. Since these are above ground cemeteries, I guess the tombs are very easy to kind of break into. So it's very questionable if Marie Laveau's remains are actually in that tomb or if they've been stolen by thieves of the past, and as with her daughters as well. This cemetery is prime real estate for above ground tombs. You really have to buy your way in here. Prime example, even though he's not dead yet, this is Nicolas Cage's tomb for when he passes away. Rumors say he paid over $500,000 for this tomb. And for whatever reason, I guess it's tradition, women put on fresh lipstick and kiss the tomb. This is a tomb for all the Italian immigrants way back in the day. They'd all be buried here as like a mass grave. Also, in the 1969 film Easy Rider, this is the iconic cemetery where they had their acid trip scene shot in. Since then, any kind of film or photography has been strictly prohibited, because it wasn't until after the film that they came out and said they were literally on acid while shooting that scene. And that greatly upset the diocese. Once you're inside, it literally feels like a labyrinth of tombs. It has a surprisingly big inside, even though it looks kind of small from the outside. There is a wide variety of new tombs and old tombs, with all kinds of deep historical backgrounds. Oh yeah, don't forget, I'm on a tour. I'm always at the back of the group with my video camera. After this tour, I need a coffee. Oh.
We take a little more analytical approach to the coffee. We're very recipe based. So you're going to find we measure total dissolved solids and extraction on all our brews. Makes everything nice and repeatable, consistent, and good. I'm grateful to have your business. Come on in. I'm going to pour you an amazing cup of black coffee for $2, or I'm going to make you an all fruit smoothie without high fructose corn syrup. We try and use all local, all natural ingredients and as much stuff as we can, and have a nice comfortable space for people to relax and enjoy their day.
Alright, so now I'm dying to do a photo shoot in an above ground cemetery, so we find one that's open to the public. We are here at the Lake Lawn Park Cemetery. great above ground cemetery, and we are here gonna do a quick photo shoot, check it out, feel out the vibes. So let's check it out. This is a very clean cut cemetery, not so much decrepit, not like decaying, nothing like that. And this one actually has business hours, but today it's a Sunday, they close at 5, so yeah, I want to say it's about maybe almost 4, so we gotta hurry up and get the shoot done. But this place, yeah, this is probably the older part of the cemetery, and it's just beautiful. These tombs are incredible. So don't mind us just walking through an above ground cemetery holding a armful of skulls. I love this. You walk down the street, live music all day, every day. I got a vegan barbecue tofu wrap and a vegan black bean soup.
This is bar 13. We're on Frenchman Street. We got the cheapest drinks on the block, and we're basically a good spot to grab late night food, frozen Irish coffee, tater tot nachos, and basically cheap drinks for people looking to go between sets, and basically contribute to the debauchery of the locals. So. Oh, and we're the only place that has smokes.
Now we're venturing around, checking out all the one-of-a-kind shops and boutiques.
Being such an eclectic shop, it's usually we find a lot of people are surprised. They usually find shops either one way or the other. You know, they're just not stuck in a rut of like Victorian or this or that or mid-century. There's a little bit of everything in here. But I think what makes the shop unique is the fact that there's tons and tons of New Orleans memorabilia here. There's a case behind you that's full of just Mardi Gras favors, things that the average tourist would never see anything else or anywhere else.
There truly is a wide variety of true, authentic New Orleans vibes. Oh yeah, there is so much going on in this shop. If you love antiques, you gotta stop in here.
This actually was the Force Ford dealership. So if you look on this side, this storefront is 1209, and it wraps around, it makes a huge U, comes all the way out, and we have our second storefront right here at 1215. This is our courtyard, and we rent space to local artists to have a night market or a day market, and we also sell our own metal art and upcycled furniture and things like that out here. But in this side, where we're reopening right now our more artsy section. We have people that are actually creating art here on site. So we design our own lighting and rebuild old chandeliers here, and then we'll display them in that front area. And in that center area, we have an on-site painter, and he does murals and signs, and we have a full studio in there. So we have kilns, and we have pottery wheels, slab rollers, extruders, dual gas torch, some jewelry making things, and our artists can come in and make their art in our window in the front where people can see, and then put it on display here in the shop. This is a very strange mix. There's no way to expect anything because it changes so constantly. We have about 200 different artists that work out of here, and there's always somebody changing their inventory, so just you get what you get. You'll see a lot of local things. You'll see a lot of local, photographs or locally inspired art. It's just an interesting place to look. You can spend all day in here and still not see everything. Just a whole lot of different stuff.
I love this warehouse. Just walking through, you could see the New Orleans inspired art in every booth you stop at. This is truly the place to go if you want that one-of-a-kind New Orleans art. Each booth was seriously unpredictable of what you'd see next. It was great. These are some seriously talented artisans and craftspeople, as well as collectors.
The 10 signs in the front of the shop that say, "Do not mess with the dog," listen to one of them. This is actually the sweet one, the one in the front, and he is sweet. He's just huge, and he scares people. But that's his job. He's the shop dog.
Next, we stop at the legendary Fort MACOMB. After making our way around some gates and over some gates, we finally get to the brick structures. All right. The current remains were built in 1822, about 7 years after British forces invaded the New Orleans area. It was named Fort Wood in 1827, but then renamed Fort MACOMB in 1851 after General Alexander MACOMB, former Chief of Engineers and the second commanding general of the United States Army. Things to know, there's a lot of mosquitoes and the tall grass really makes your skin itch. But the remains of this fort are just beautiful. I wish I had more time to do a photo shoot here. Amazing. Apparently in 1867 the barracks caught fire and the US Army pretty much decommissioned it in 1871. The state of Louisiana owns this property, and because of its decaying condition, the fort was judged too hazardous for the public to visit. It also survived damage from Hurricane Katrina in 2005. We stop at Good Karma Cafe for lunch. It's pretty much a yoga studio with a cafe inside of it. 100% vegan, really tasty stuff. I get a barbecue tofu sandwich and the salsa is so good. Alright, now it's time to hang out in some bayous and find some alligators.
You're at Barataria Preserve, part of Jean Lafitte National Historical Park and Preserve. And people come here to see what they can find in wetlands, like swamps and marshes, such as alligators, a very popular animal here, as well as snakes. Some people come here to look for birds, and that's what you find out here.
So they have a nice little visitor center, explains, you know, all the differences between the ecosystems here, as well as some historical relics. Oh my god, look at all the new friends we could make. These wooden walkways will take you right through the green, murky waters. Snake. This is a very easy walk, and we even saw people with baby carriages as well. Found an alligator. Oh my god, what an amazing natural historic park. We saw all kinds of stuff, countless dragonflies, a bunch of mosquitoes. A bunch of those large spiders. They look like bird-eating spiders. Also that crocodile, I mean the alligator, there's a difference. Saw that alligator, I'd say it's about like a 4-footer. Nice little baby, nice little teenager alligator.
So we're looking at poison ivy, fire ants, venomous snakes, and alligators. Let's go.
Yeah, and as always, brought some sculptures along, some black cloth, and my digital camera. Oh, here's what I'm saying. This is one of those huge spiders. I wish I brought a ruler with me. It doesn't look big, but trust me, it's about 5 inches from back leg to front legs. Don't mind the floating leaves. So just walking these paths down here in the bayou, just incredible energy. Everywhere you look, there's movement. You look right there, movement. You look up in the trees, movement. Just creatures, animals. The ecosystem here is tremendous. Yeah, you come down here and just try and vibe out with the local energy here. Powerful stuff.
Hey, this is Darren with John Lafitte Swamp Tours. Come and check us out and do a tour with us. You can see some alligators, some birds, some turtles. We'll show you what the marshland looks like, the difference between a bayou and a canal. Really fun. You gotta go check us out.
You're definitely gonna want to call ahead beforehand to see their tour schedule, but we just missed the tour and we didn't have time to stick around for the next one. Listen, I was so determined to find vegan wings at this wing fest, and you know what? Here we go, right there. Albert here said I had 1 in 100 chance.
1 in 100 chance, and here's the one place out of about 100.
We are Atlas Monroe. We make Cajun Southern fried chicken and applewood fried ribs. That's all vegan and all organic. So hopefully you guys are in for a wild ride, and you guys will say this is the best fried chicken you've ever had. Our IG is atlas.monroe, and our website is just atlasmonroe.com.
Got the southern fried chicken and some fries here. Oh my goodness. This vegan fried chicken is so good. It's like perfectly battered and crispy on the outside, and the Cajun seasoning, oh, is just perfect. You could tell that the fries are fresh cut and sprinkled with deliciousness. Atlas Monroe better be opening up franchises because I need more. So we continue by aimlessly wandering around the fried chicken fest and then wander back into town. We get sucked into a stereotypical gift shop, souvenir shop, because what they do is they blast AC right out their doors because it's so hot that you need to cool off inside. Now, we can't help but walk down Bourbon Street during the day just to see if it's really as crazy as it is at night. And literally, Bourbon Street does not stop. It parties all day, every day, non-stop. Well, except in the morning when they bleach their sidewalks. There's really a nice variety of street performers here. From individual acts to full bands just playing in the street. It's awesome entertainment here. So here we are, night 2, New Orleans, checking it out, walking around. Not much of a plan, just kind of gonna coast it out, see what's going on. Doesn't matter what day it is, there's always people drinking on Bourbon Street at night. It seems every day of the year. So we're looking for a late night dinner spot, and we find this PERE ANTOINE restaurant. I get this something lemonade daiquiri. It's okay. I get this vegetable po' boy with a side of fries and eggs. So we find our way back through Bourbon Street, through the hordes of drunk people and bachelorette parties. Back to the Indian House Hostel, and we call it a night. In the comments section below, let me know where you think I should have went while I was here in New Orleans. I'm actually planning a second trip, so I'd love your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hey, let me know where I should go next.